Look, let's just face facts right out of the gate. Most of the AI stock analysis you see today, it's generic, it's fluffy, and honestly, it's entirely unreliable. If you've ever actually tried asking an AI to analyze a stock, you know the drill. You get handed this giant blended wall of text that sounds super smart, but it just completely falls apart when you actually try to trade on it. Well, today in this explainer, we are going to fix that. Welcome to your guided tour through the Shadowfox engine room. We're going to give you a complete, visually guided overview of the Shadowfox Equity Analysis System. It's essentially a highly structured, multi-analyst pipeline that takes raw financial data and actually transforms it into high-confidence investment theses. Just look at the stark contrast here. Your generic AI outputs, they hallucinate, they guess, and they basically mix hard facts with completely wild assumptions. But the Shadowfox solution eliminates that hallucination. How? By enforcing these really strict, compartmentalized, multi-analyst workflows. See, it doesn't just chat with you, it processes data through very specific, specialized lenses. It's a structured workflow and prompting system that literally transforms a standard AI into a senior, multidisciplinary financial analyst. So here is the blueprint for our engine room tour today. First, we'll meet your AI stock analyst. 2, walk through the 6 specialized modules. 3, run the sequential pipeline. 4, cover the crucial rule of facts versus assumptions. And 5, finish up with real-world operator scenarios.
Section 1, meet your AI stock analyst. Let's look at the core architecture that powers the entire system.
Okay, so the crucial point to understand here is that Shadowfox is governed from the absolute top-down by this master role instruction. You are literally commanding the AI to act as a senior, multidisciplinary financial analyst, one with actual expertise across equity research, forensic accounting, valuation, the whole shebang. It is explicitly instructed to produce clear, structured, data-driven insights and totally, absolutely avoid speculation. This master frame, that is what keeps the engine on the tracks.
Step 1 of the whole system is inputting real data into the funnel. You feed in the ticker symbol, recent financial statements, and price data. And notice how the AI's output quality correlates directly with the real-world financial data you feed it. I mean, it's a true garbage-in, garbage-out mechanism that you, the operator, control. If you give it high-quality data, you get a high-confidence output. But if you give it nothing but a ticker symbol, yeah, you're going to get generic results.
Section 2, the 6 specialized modules. Let's open the doors to the 6 specific rooms in this analytical engine.
Instead of asking one AI to just do everything at once, Shadowfox breaks the job down into 6 specialized analyst personas. First up, we have Module 1, where the AI acts as a senior equity researcher. The goal in this room is to establish a complete overview of the company's business model, revenue drivers, and its competitive moat. Once that baseline is set, boom, we immediately hand the file over to Module 2. Here, the AI takes on the role of a forensic financial analyst. This room is entirely focused on assessing financial health, digging into cash flow quality, debt structure, and actively hunting for accounting red flags way before they ever show up in the stock price.
Now, Module 1 enforces its findings through a really specific summary artifact, a strengths versus weaknesses table. Check out this real output for NVIDIA. It instantly, and I mean instantly, organizes NVIDIA's massive AI dominance and near 100% return on equity right up against its rich valuation and heavy customer concentration among just a few hyperscalers. It's clean, it's actionable, and most importantly, it's totally free of fluff. Next up, the file moves down the line to Module 3, the Senior Valuation Analyst. This persona's one and only job is to determine if the stock is undervalued, fairly valued, or overvalued by really digging into earnings profiles and peer comparisons. After that, Module 4 brings in the Senior Industry Analyst to run a Porter's 5 Forces check. This basically zooms out to contextualize the company within its broader competitive landscape, identifying emerging threats and those long-term industry dynamics.
To see exactly how Module 3 works in action, let's look at this specific number for NVIDIA. 34.30. That is its trailing PE ratio. The valuation analyst locks onto this hard data point and contrasts it with a forward PE of 22.43. By comparing these multiples, the module arrives at a really specific verdict. It concludes that NVIDIA is arguably fairly valued to modestly undervalued given its hypergrowth. But it explicitly notes that this is a moderate confidence level because of the heavy reliance on future hyperscaler spending. So it doesn't just give you a guess, it gives you the actual why behind the valuation.
Finally, we reach the end of the line with Modules 5 and 6. The risk analyst builds a downside heat map, where it is actively trying to poke holes in the investment by identifying macroeconomic, operational, and financial risks. And then, once we understand those fundamental risks, the professional technical analyst in Module 6 steps in. They evaluate price momentum, moving averages, and support and resistance levels so you can actually time the trade entry or exit. Looking at the Module 6 technical outlook for NVIDIA here, you can see you get precise breakout zones and support bands, no vague guessing. The system identifies near-term support sitting strictly between 196.50 and 198.45, with resistance hanging around 225 to 235. It even outlines what would invalidate the trade, like a decisive close below that support band. This right here, this is exactly how you bridge the gap between a fundamental thesis and tactical real-world execution.
Section 3. Running the sequential pipeline. Let's see how this builds when we connect all these components together into a complete system.
Think of Shadowfox like a giant conveyor belt. Now, sure, you can run any of these modules independently if you just have a quick question. But the true power of the system, that gets unlocked when you sequence them for a complete 360-degree view. You establish the business, confirm the financials, determine the value, check the industry, surface the risks, and finally, time the trade. Literally feeding the output of one module directly into the next produces maximum analytical depth. It creates an incredibly cohesive investment thesis that a single, generic prompt could honestly never achieve.
Section 4. Facts versus assumptions. This brings us to the single most important rule of the Shadowfox system.
If you take away absolutely nothing else from this explainer today, remember this mandate: analytical integrity. To kill AI hallucination dead in its tracks, every single module output must sort information into 3 strict buckets: facts, interpretations, and assumptions. Or as the framework sometimes calls them, investor watch points. It is an uncompromising, hard-coded rule of the Shadowfox architecture. By explicitly rejecting blended text and requiring this separated data, you are protecting yourself as an operator. Think about our NVIDIA example. A trailing revenue of $253 billion? That is a cold, hard fact. But the idea that they'll continue hitting 70% year-over-year revenue growth? Well, that is an assumption entirely dependent on future hyperscaler CapEx cycles. By forcing the AI to separate these out, you ensure that a forward-looking assumption is never, ever accidentally treated as a concrete financial fact.
Section 5. Real-world operator scenarios. So, how do you actually use this machine in your daily operations?
Well, you can deploy these specific modules tactically based on exactly what you need in the moment. If earnings are coming up, you might just run Module 2, the forensic accountant, just to sniff out any red flags in the cash flow before the market even reacts. Or, say you already love a stock fundamentally, you can just chain Module 3 and Module 6 together, valuation and technicals, to pinpoint the perfect risk-adjusted entry point on a stock that's on the move. Or, if you're getting ready to commit serious capital to a brand new idea, you run the deep value hunt. That means utilizing the full 6-step sequential pipeline so you literally leave no stone unturned. At the end of the day, Shadowfox ultimately synthesizes raw data into a cohesive, highly structured thesis. It essentially takes all the noise of the market and distills it down into 3 to 5 actionable, non-generic takeaways. It replaces all the emotion and hype with a confident, data-driven framework so you can decide definitively whether you're going to buy, hold, or sell. So the tools are here, the pipeline is fully built, and the engine is just waiting for your data. You honestly no longer have to settle for those fluffy, completely unreliable AI stock summaries. By acting as the operator of this 360-degree system, you command the analytical depth of an entire firm. The only question left to ask is, what stock are you going to run through the Shadowfox gauntlet first?